Okay, so remember a while back I made a video about some garbage website that said a bunch of really dumb things about how PC gaming sucks? If you don't remember, I'll throw a link in the description and put a screenshot up here so you know which one I'm talking about. It's not required viewing or anything like that for this video, because this video is a whole new category of stupid. Today's specimen is called 9 Reasons Why the PS5 Should Be Your Next Console. Unsure which console you should get or upgrade to, here's why you should pick the PS5 over the competition. And before you ask, no, this article is not by the same person who made the last one, and I really don't know if that makes it better or worse. Because like, on one hand, I can almost understand having one really bad writer at your website, but the fact that this is an entirely different person whose writing is arguably even worse than the last one, it just doesn't bode well for your website as a whole. MakeUseOf.com may very well be the worst outlet on the market right now, and if the last video didn't convince you, this one absolutely will. After a brief introduction, the author gets into their main reasons. There are 9 of them, and I guess context for new viewers of the channel, I am a almost exclusively PC gamer at this point. I used to be an exclusively console gamer, but I switched to PC during the Xbox One era because the Xbox One and the PS4 were insulting, and since then I have been utterly unimpressed by any piece of console tech to come out, like, period. But let's hear about why the PS5 has some really great unique edges to it. Really, stuff you can't get anywhere else. You can't get any of these 9 things anywhere but the PlayStation 5. So what's number 1? You have options. Are you If you like options, the PS5 has them. There are 2 consoles available for you to choose from. Whether you're an avid collector or prefer less clutter on your gaming shelf, you can pick between a PS5 with a disc slot or a digital-only version. So, like the Xbox. Great. Also, how are you going to say you have options when there are literally 2 different kinds of Xbox right now? How is options an exclusive thing to PlayStation? Which one will be best for you depends on how you game and what your collection looks like. Are you a hardcore gamer with a massive collection of physical games? You're going to need a PS5 equipped with a drive so you can slot your game discs into your console. But if you only play a game or 2 at a time or want the convenience of quickly switching between titles without the hassle of changing the disc, the digital-only PS5 could be perfect for you. It is also cheaper than the disc version PS5, so that's another bonus. Little weird to suggest that people who play physical games don't only play 1 or 2 at a time. That's a little weird. Also, something you're not mentioning here is hard drive space. If you use a physical copy of a game, you still have to install that game on the hard drive, which makes it even weirder that you felt the need to specify that digital-only gamers might want to only play 1 or 2 at a time. Like, why'd you say this at all? But right along to number 2. The number 2 thing that is only on the PS5, it's not on the competition, you gotta get a Sony console to get this. What is it? Number 2, it has ray tracing.
Is that a joke? Tell me you're joking.
If you are interested in experiencing the latest technology in terms of graphics, ray tracing is not the latest technology. The PS5 can provide that for you. The PS5 was among the first consoles to support ray tracing, an advanced graphical technique that effectively and realistically simulates how light moves around an environment. Oh, it was among the first consoles. So you admit that it's not exclusive. All right, but what's the third thing? What's the third thing that only the PS5 has? I'm gonna keep doing this joke until you laugh, god fucking damn it. What's the third thing that only the PS5 has? Number 3, customizable storage. I'm dropping the joke now because it's just really annoying. The PS5's modular storage setup could be a big plus for you if you have an extensive collection of games. The base console doesn't come with an outlandish amount of support, so if you find yourself running low, Sony makes it easy to beef this up. Oh, so if you're someone who plays more than 1 or 2 games at a time, you can't use the PS5 anyways. Fantastic. Do you see now why I felt the need to point out how weird it was for you to say that? The PS5 is very customizable when it comes to storage, and absolutely nothing else. The covers of the PS5 are removable to expose a dedicated spot where you can install a solid-state drive as an external storage device. Installing an SSD in your PS5 is incredibly easy, and can boost your storage space to your heart's or wallet's content. And of course, little red underline there so they can link to their own other garbage article about their garbage coverage of the garbage SSD in the garbage PS5. I may have just shown my hand a little too strongly there.
I may have gone too far in a few places.
All right, number 4, the DualSense controller. I'm not going to do the joke anymore because that we're at number 4 on this list, and you are yet to name literally a single thing that is actually exclusive to the PS5. The DualSense controller works on PC. It works beautifully on PC from what I've been told. I haven't used it personally because I don't want the fucking thing, but at least I have that option. If you don't like the DualSense controller and you want a PS5,
Man, that sucks!
So Sony released their next-gen console, and of course, they had to include a next-gen controller to accompany it, the DualSense controller. I'm about to give you a fucking 15-yard penalty for the number of commas here. This controller lives up to the advancements of the PS5 and then some, making it one of the best controllers on the market to date. So it's like, kind of advanced? Like, I'm sure the DualSense is a perfectly fine controller, but like, it's not some giant industry-shaking thing. It's just a controller with a handful of new features to make it seem like a worthy purchase over the last one. You're not gonna remember the new stuff in like a year and a half. That's how it always is with these things. Remember how stoked everybody was with the fucking trackpad on the PS4 controller? Remember how stoked everybody was with like the motion gesture shit in the PS3 controller? No one's gonna care about this stuff in a year. Now, granted, the DualSense gimmicks are, less gimmicky than some. They're definitely more useful than the previous gimmicks that Sony has thrown at us. But that doesn't mean that they are alone worthy of purchase. And it also super does not mean that you can only get them on the PS5. You can use a DualSense on the PC pretty easily. It's named after its ability to convey senses through minute vibrations, sounds, and even lighting effects to match the game's environment. Yes, because when I'm playing a video game, I'm staring at my controller. For example, the DualSense's adaptive triggers feel different depending on what weapon you are using. That is actually cool. You should have led with that. That is something that I actually think is kind of cool, and I think if you're playing like a single player game or something really immersive, that would really make it feel more immersive. It's not the kind of thing I would want in a multiplayer game, or a game like Doom, like a fast-paced shooter or something, but in like, in an RPG, or a slower paced, lower stakes single player game, the adaptive triggers, I can see how that would be appealing. Do I think you should buy a whole PS5 just to experience that?
No.
If the DualSense controller piqued your interest, an Elite version is coming in January 2023. We compiled everything you need to... Yeah, this bit is literally just an ad for another article on this dogshit website. Cool. Skipping ahead. Number 5, a great library of... What the fuck?
Speed. Marker.
Number 5, a great library of exclusive games. The main reason you should purchase any gaming console is the titles you can play on it. Ah, yes, the main reason you should buy a piece of hardware is the software that it's holding hostage. That's great. That's a great attitude there. Fantastic pro-consumer attitude. After all, what use would you have for amazing, technologically advanced hardware if there are no games you can enjoy playing on it? What the fuck does that have to do with exclusives? Fortunately, you won't run into this issue on the PS5. Yeah, okay, look. Why do people feel the need to keep acting like exclusive games are the only games that exist, especially as exclusive games continue to stop existing? And it's wonderful that they're doing that. More people getting to play more games is always a good thing. It's good for the consumer to have more options of what gaming hardware they want to buy, and it's good for the actual companies involved because now they're more directly competing with one another, and there's more incentive for them to make their hardware better for the consumer. Like I said before, I am almost exclusively a PC gamer, but like 90% of the games I play are not PC exclusive. They're multi-platform games, either new or old, that I just want to play with better performance than what the competition can offer me on those games. The PS5 has a spectacular lineup of exclusive games that take full advantage of the console's unique capabilities. Games like Spider-Man Miles Morales, shines on the console, perfectly exhibiting the system's ray tracing abilities. Fun fact, that game was literally never exclusive. Wasn't that game on PS4 as well? And it's definitely on PC. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is the latest entry in the Ratchet & Clank series that also takes full advantage of the PS5's Elite hardware. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. What if I want to play other Ratchet & Clank games on the PS5? Can I do that? Can I play all the Ratchet & Clank games on PS5? No? I gotta play the newest one? Ah, that's pro-consumer. I love it. Despite the game occurring in many different worlds, you'll find yourself hurtling through it with 0 loading screens. Thank you, Sony, for inventing no loading screens. These and many more games like this show what the PS5 is capable of, and you can't get them anywhere else. Well, you named 2 games, and one of them was wrong. So I don't know where you're going with this. Number 6, it has an amazing retro library. Are you shitting me right now? Are you really shitting me right now? Are you really going to look us in the fucking face hole and say you should get a PS5 because it has the best retro library?
You're not making this easy, Kyle.
And make no mistake, you said these are the 9 reasons you should get a PS5 over anything else. And you really are going to sit here and say retro library. Are you not aware of the fact that Nintendo basically markets their entire business model on their retro library? Are you not aware of the fact that Microsoft over the last like 7-ish years has been putting a tremendous and honestly really respectable amount of effort into backwards compatibility with all of their previous consoles? Are you also not aware of the fact that the PC is backwards compatible for literally ever? If you are looking for retro games, if you are looking for older games, if you are looking for backwards compatibility, the PlayStation 5 is quite literally the worst option on the market. Preserving relics of the past is increasingly important as time goes on and the games and consoles that play them become harder and more expensive to find. To combat this and keep the past alive, Sony has introduced a subscription service. Yes, to keep the past alive, you must continue to pay us. The most expensive branch of the service, PS Plus Premium, offers users access to a classics catalog which contains a selection of PS1, 2, 3, and P games. A subscription to PS Plus Premium costs PS Plus Premium, poor Peter Parker, costs $9.99 per month or $59.99 per year to access these relics of the past. And of course, right after that, they throw in a little fucking ad break within the ad. If you want to know more about Sony's gaming subscription service, you can check out our rundown of PlayStation Plus and its benefits. Yeah, in case you didn't catch the vibe of what I'm doing here, this is actually a really garbage way to promote this. You're saying, if you want to play retro games, buy this giant piece of hardware and continue paying Sony until you die. What if I just want to play an old game? I can't just buy it? I know you can just buy a lot of these games. And the thing is, I know that you can just buy a lot of these games. But they don't seem to know that. Okay, number 7, PS Remote Play. This may actually be the first thing that you've put on the entire list that is actually exclusive to PS5. With a solid internet connection, you can pick up and play through any of your saved files on the bus, during your lunch break at work, or whenever you want to escape an awkward conversation during dinner with your parents. Yes, because whenever I'm at dinner with my parents and they start asking me when I'm gonna have kids, I just instinctively whip out my phone and start playing Mortal Kombat. PS Remote Play is PlayStation's answer to Xbox Game Pass. Check out our guide on how to set up and use PS Remote Play if you're interested in playing on the go. Wait, I thought the subscription was their answer to Game Pass. I thought the subscription with all the retro games was their answer to Game Pass. Number 8, PSVR 2. Ah yes, the thing that's not even fucking out yet. I'm gonna skip ahead on this one because this is actually, again, you should have put this one earlier in the list. This is one of the only legitimate points here. If you are a console gamer, you are strictly a console gamer and you like VR, yes, PlayStation is really the only place to go because Microsoft and Nintendo don't really seem to give a shit about that right now. And number 9, the final point on this list is cover customization. I'm really just too tired to go through this one. This article is bad. This article is very bad. And I was going to do a nice big conclusion where I wrap up my thoughts, but honestly, I just don't know how to close this video. There is nothing wrong with liking the PS5. There's nothing wrong with wanting a PS5. There's nothing wrong with playing on the PS5 and thinking it's the greatest thing ever. Well, maybe there's something wrong with that. You might be wrong about that. But there's nothing wrong with being a fan of the PS5 or encouraging people to like the PS5. But what there is something wrong about this. That was not words. I'm sorry.
Okay, slight marker.
But what actually is wrong here is being a writer for a large tech outlet or a gaming outlet or a website with a big following, or really just if you are an editor at one of these sites, if you are involved with this article's production or articles like it or videos like it, you're kind of an asshat because you're pushing people to buy something under false pretenses and you couldn't be fucked to do 10 seconds of Googling to see if your garbage was actually correct. Anyways, buy whatever the fuck you want, do what you want with your money, it's your money. Just be informed when you make those decisions And if you don't know the answer to a question, if someone says, what system has the best performance? What gaming system has the best backwards compatibility? It is okay to say, I don't know. It is also okay to say, well, I like the PS5, but the other systems have better backwards compatibility. Or, I like the PS5, but some other systems have better performance. That is completely okay. You don't have to be an authority on everything. Toodles.